And welcome back, guys, to more of the good old, or whatever. Whatever I'm trying to say right now. Back to the draft. So this is going to be the last episode of this session. It's going to be around 15 minutes, I think it was. And I cut this down because it was originally like a 32 odd minute video. And I cut it down to 15 because most of it was just me cutting out the loading screens and such. So here we are, here with our 11th pick. And I ended up picking McKenzie. Power forward, right wing, medium top six forward. I thought, worst case scenario, we can use him in the final year because he's 63 overall, so he may not end up playing for us in our series. But I still thought that was a good pick overall. And I pretty much would have taken him over any other guy, especially Foot. I know he's a high top six, and I could have picked him, but I still would have picked McDonald. Probably would have picked Bobrovsky if I knew, because I was looking at him a little bit. But I kind of thought he would have just been a fringe starter or even a backup, and I was like, yeah, I don't really want that. And then he turns into a medium elite. I actually did talk. I did talk a little at length about the fact that Winnipeg got him, but then I was like, I don't really want to talk in depth about that. So here was an interesting trade. Trade Chicago's first, which was a 30th, for Boston's second, which would have been 39th, and Thomas Hickey. And I was like, I'll do that. I have the cap space. And then I saw he was like 79, 78 overall there, and I was like, yeah, no. I'll much rather take the first than a 79, 78 overall defenseman at that kind of money. For 2 years, I think it was. Even though I guess it would have only been 1 year, actually. I don't know, whatever. Still didn't want that for a year when I could just get 2 players for $4 million or whatever he had. So with our 30th pick, I think I tried to trade it. Yeah, I was thinking, maybe I should trade both 30th and 31st and try to get a pretty top end center. But I ended up not doing it. I ended up just saying, you know what? I want to be more realistic not realistic, but I want to do what I would realistically do. And if we won the Stanley Cup without a center like past 82 overall, through all 4 lines, why am I trying to get one? Because there's really no point if we won the cup, really on the heels of an 83 overall goalie, and 82 and 83 and 81, 80 overall players, there's really no point. Because really our only good players are Stone, CC, and Murray. And Chabot, I think he was an 83 in the playoffs. But all of our other players weren't all that great. It's not like we had like an 88 overall defenseman or anything, so that's kind of my thought process on it. We got Cope there, power forward, bottom 6, and a top 9, I think that was 2-way or whatever. Here we are with some trades. I cut some of this off, but you can see the trades as you are. I do just want to say immediately, Arizona made a play. As you can see, they traded Derek Stepan to Vegas for a first, and then they also trade a 2 seconds, I think that was, for Kyle Palmieri. And then literally, like a few seconds later, they trade Palmieri away to Toronto for first. So I talked a little bit at length about that because I never really have seen that done by the CPU. So the CPU, or at least Arizona, has 3 first-round picks. I did look at this, but then I decided I would cut it out just because there's really no point. Also, I'm pretty sure New Jersey also has 3 first-round picks in this year's draft. We got a nice little bottom 6 enforcer there. Probably won't make our team in this series because we only have 3 years left, but it could happen. 79 overall could make our 4th line. Who knows? He's an enforcer, so. That was a defenseman, I think. I can't remember anymore. But as you can see, yeah, I kind of just I just cut all of the loading screens because the loading screens take like a solid few seconds, and it just shouldn't take that long, in my opinion. But also, when I looked at the trades, or rather the trade screen, and I looked at all of the, and as you can see there, a nice little left wing grinder, low elite by New York there, the Islanders. But I looked at our draft picks for next year, and we only have one. We have ours, and we whatchamacallit, we had, I think, like 3 6, 3 7ths, and like 3 5ths or something. So like we had quite a few draft picks near the bottom end of the draft, but try to cut out as much of it as I could just because, again, the loading screens are just way too much. So I just immediately go to so there's our first AHL top 6, which, I mean, you're pretty much bound to get a AHL kind of player. We got a medium backup goaltender there. I go for another goaltender. It's another medium backup, but again, it's not really the worst possible situation for us to get medium backups because we have Carter Hutton, and we actually have him locked up for the next 3 years anyway. And he's only 32. So worst case scenario, he goes down to like an 81 or something. 81. Did I say 31 or 81? I don't know, whatever. Whatever. So yeah, we go with him to re-sign phase, and I actually skipped through most of this because, or pretty much all of this is because, it's pretty much just like, so yeah, DG Sepe accepted, White rejected, and everybody else accepted. Nothing really there. I tried to sign Colin White to like an 8-year, $4.3 million contract or something, and then I decided, okay, I'll give you 8 years at 4.4, except this. And then he gives the I'll get back to you tonight, and stupid. Advance a day, and he rejects that. So then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to give him the contract that I was originally going to give him, which was a 3-year contract to run him to the end of this year at $4 million. I'll get back to you tonight. Yeah, whatever, EA, and your generic responses. And what will you know, he accepts it. I wanted to do an 8-year contract mainly because for realism purposes, but at the end of the day, most of these contracts are actually ending at 3 years anyway. So it actually is kind of realistic for me to do that. And as you can see here, we got the free agent haul right here. Drew Doughty, Blake Wheeler, Pacioretty, Zuccarello, Couture, Duchesne. We can get Duchesne back, you guys. Jake Gardner, Halmerson, quite a few guys. Quite a few guys up there. Where did I go? Oh yeah, that's what we were hopeful. Couldn't remember what the one before contender was. But we won at hopeful. So yeah, I decided to go to Vegas because I want to see what they signed Carlson for. Because I'm pretty sure Carlson's contract was up, so they signed him to a 5-year, $8.12 million contract, something like that. Again, like, the quality that I'm looking at this video is not the greatest, sadly. And I kind of like looked at Brandstrom because in the earliest like roster update, his offensive awareness like really gets up there. Just like a little shout out for 2BC. It's not like he needs a shout out or anything, but in his Vegas GM, I think Eric Brandstrom has like a 96 overall awareness or something like that. Like, just crazy. So I don't know if the CPU Vegas is just not utilizing him correctly, but I think so. Right now, my thought process is we could really make a huge splash because we have a lot of cap space remaining. We have 13.540, I guess, looks like. So that's a lot of money that I could put into Drew Doughty. But then I think about our defense situation, our forward situation, like, what do we really need? And then I decide to kind of like shed some contracts there, just to whatchamacallit, just to finalize, or not finalize, but just to shore some contracts off our team. So we had was like 43 or 50 or something like that. So yeah, we have Cody Ceci, we got Miller time, we got Chabot, we got Braun, who Braun's contract. I go to the right here to the years remaining, and Braun only has 1 year left, I think it was. Cody Ceci, what did he have? I think he had like 3 years left or something. 2 years, 1 year, 2 years. I go to the right at some point here. I think I'm just going through each individual player. And like I said, Miller, that's a pretty good contract, especially. I think I was talking about how CC maybe getting like a bump up to like an 87, 88 overall. Again, I still haven't gotten to the point of the next season because I'm still in free agency, so I don't exactly know whether or not I hit my mic. Whether or not, so yeah, as you can see, we got Franzen, Braun, and Chabot. So Chabot's gonna be a big contract. He's gonna want it in the range of Miller and CC, but yeah, okay. CC and Miller both have 3 years left, so I don't really have to worry about that. But Chabot's gonna want a big contract. If I need to, I'm gonna probably trade Braun or release him at the end of the year. Franzen's not gonna want 2.6. Enstrom's not gonna want 2 point whatever he has. And Prout may want like 1, but he has 2 years left, so that's fine. And I think here, like, I'm just thinking, do I really need Doughty? I mean, we didn't need Doughty to win the Cup this year, but it could be a nice little option just to have that superstar level defenseman. Even though, again, we didn't need it, it is a thing to consider. And then I look at centers and think, do we need a good center? But the only good center really out there would be Duchesne or Couture, and they're both 85 overall. So is that really that big of a increase, or should I just like hope that White or Peugeot or even Brown, for that matter, gets up to like an 84, 85, or maybe even all three of them get to 84, 85, somewhere around there? White and Peugeot were already 83 and Brown's 82, so it's not that hard to assume that we can have a pretty damn good top 9 as for our first 3 centers. Then obviously Rick Nash, I really hope he doesn't want $4 million next year. And then I also said he may even retire, which wouldn't be a necessarily bad thing. But regardless, we got Doughty. And then I looked down to Jake Gardiner, and I thought, Jake Gardiner may be a better pickup than a Drew Doughty. Because Jake Gardiner only wants 3 years, or something like that. Maybe he wanted more than that. I can't remember more. Jake Gardiner, I think that's a 3. Again, the quality. But yeah, again, I look at his stats and then I look at Gardner's stats because Gardner has a 90 discipline. And Drew Doughty is an 80 discipline. So I was thinking, maybe I should just get Gardner for a top 4 spot alongside of Chabot or Miller or CC or whoever would be that kind of guy to stay there. So I have some decisions to make, but this is the final of the voiceover recordings. So hopefully I'll remember to actually turn on the mic. So I'll see you guys in the next session. Goodbye.